How do we define our success? Is it because we get a big paycheck, live in an extraordinary large home, married the hottest guy or girl in the country, or drive the fastest car in the town? Those certainly aren't measures of success. Building a business and entrepreneurship, or your dream job, it may be a top-notch bureaucrat, or a software engineer at Microsoft, or a pilot in Air Forces, or a justice in Supreme Court, or a famous doctor, politician, sportsperson, or a scientist in ISRO or NASA, whatever it may be. All requires unique talents and love for what you want to do in your life. It's not about frivolous things, it's about opportunity and your ability to uncover your dreams. There may exist many, but I am gonna tell you today top 8 very simple rules that you can follow to become a truly successful person in whatever you do. Number 1. Clarity of thoughts. Have a vision for yourself and be decisive. Make a commitment and then do not stop until goal is achieved. Write down your plan in paper. It will help you in breaking down your tasks, setting priorities, and time management. Observe and learn. Be courageous. Face with fear. And you must know that most of your fears are figment of imagination. Remind yourself the biggest fear which held you 10 years back does not matter to you anymore, right? In most of the cases, it won't. Your commitment is the panacea and it will make you fearless and unstoppable. It will showcase you are a confident guy. Shows others that you are in total control and you are doing what you think is best. It also gives you a sense of urgency. Stop looking for the silver bullet and start doing now. But before action ensues, do what you love. Be mad and passionate about your dreams. Remember, we become what we think about ourselves. Think positive, act positive, be positive, and you will see only positive things will happen to you. Famous behavioral economist, thinker, and Nobel Prize winner Herbert S. Simon asserted that decision making is the most important part of successful administration or management, and the outcome of decisions depend on the process that is used in making decisions. He developed the bounded rationality model in 1955, which advocates the idea that humans are only partially rational. Bounded rationality differs from the actual concept of rationality, which assumes humans have complete knowledge of their alternatives and consequences. The bounded rationality decision-making model states that individuals choose satisfactory results instead of the best. For example, say Aditya is a web developer. He gets a client call stating that they would like to discuss the work details in 5 minutes. This is a big company that has heavily funded for the project. He cannot let them go, stating he does not have time to quote a price for his services. As a web developer, he has to discuss many details on the call. He has to look into the input into the website and customize it according to the taste and preferences of the interested parties. He has to optimize the details in the content to make it best for the users. Developers usually code based on the work done. However, Aditya now has less time and does not have the luxury of comparing and deciding the price. He obviously would quote a higher price than his previous assignment to make a quick decision. It is not that he has no experience in the field or does not know how to price the services he offers. It is the time that presses him to make a quick decision. In short, the decision may not be rational, but to the time constraint, as this assignment may demand more work from him. Simon concluded, "We did not make our decisions rationally because our rationality is limited by our thinking capacity, the information that is available to us, time, influences, events occurred in our past history, feelings of emotions and egos, and various such other factors." Simon in 1977 said that to reach our best decision, such a systematic process involves 3 major phases: intelligence, design, and choice. He later added a 4th phase, implementation. Monitoring can be considered a 5th phase, a form of feedback. This leads to our next point. And be careful telling people your goals. It releases dopamine similar to actually achieving them. Don't get trapped in mental masturbation cycle of planning to change your life but never actually doing it. Most people would better off if they went quiet,
skip the instant gratification, and build something worth sharing with the world. And never forget, all changes are hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. And to ensure you go till the end without distractions, protect your mind at all cost. Turn off notifications, bad and chill vibes, and all your hysterias, because modern vampire doesn't suck blood, it sucks attention. During following mundane routine, you might feel boredom if you don't have vision. Find a purpose, otherwise you will feel lonely. Time alone only feels lonely when you have no purpose. It's otherwise a privilege to focus and get things done. When emotional people spend time alone, often they misjudge it as loneliness. The both are entirely different. It's my personal experience, life becomes disaster for an emotional person, and it turns out to be a comic if you are a thinker. You may handle your emotions, but what about others? As we lived in intertwined world, emotional regulation should be the number one skill humans must master. Your greatest test will be how you handle people who mishandles or misbehaves with you. Of course, these are circumstantial things and not one formula will fit all, but still, if any, do these things. First, to begin by, showing your appreciation. Tell them what you do well. Tell them what your thoughts are and reasons behind it. Show them facts and test cases. Tell them what you appreciate about them. The second thing is to respond to the misbehaving indirectly. Look for ways to highlight the behavior without going head on towards it. The third one is to talk about your mistakes. Tell them a story about when you used to get into trouble or when you struggled with something and you found it difficult to do the right thing. The fourth is to ask questions rather than giving orders. And the last one is you need to help them avoid losing face. So do not embarrass them or humiliate them in front of their peers. And if you find they are bloody hypocrites, then avoid discussion. Just look at their eyes and ask, "Are you fine? I'll catch you later." And move on. Do not waste your time.
Number 2. Learn from your setbacks. Failure is your biggest asset as long as you can use it as your feedback mechanism and motivation. Neither you should look for others' validation for your success nor their tone on your failures, unless he is your mentor material. Tune your mindset in such a way that it always thinks as how to improve yourself. Be it skill, communication, psychology of people, or business around you, whatever. When you try to explore things in order to improve, it will help you to innovate new paths. Be curious to know all the alternatives while you are analyzing your setbacks. It will help you to know where actually you did mistakes and how can you rectify it. Remember, failure is just another step towards your goal, which helps you to re-strategize, and it's not the end. Make the comeback personal. It should be the apology to yourself and you won't repeat same mistake. To do so, we need to promise ourselves about discipline, which is our next point of discussion. Number 3. Discipline, perseverance and competence. Be excellent in what you do. For that you need focus and concentration to do one thing at a time, routine after routine. And to develop the habit of working fast comes from practice after practice only. Know law of accumulation and strive for excellence. When you get sense of success, your body releases dopamine, a happy hormone. Make your body habit of it in order to drive you crazy towards your aim. Your winning habit and your passion should be in synergy. Do not make money your primary goal, especially during your teen ages or your initial phases. Focus on skill building. Stay away from any unpurposeful addictions, be it porn, video games, social networking sites, alcohol, drugs, gambling, etc. etc. They say modern devil is cheap dopamine. In order to make use of discipline, acquire vitamin N. The N here means you know when to say no. When you know your right priorities through clarity of thoughts, it becomes easy to say no. Remember, discipline leads to habit. Habit leads to consistency, and consistency leads to competency, and finally, competency leads to your growth. But to grow continuously, you need constant investment. which leads to our next point. Number 4. Learn to invest. Do not make debt or you will be slave in long term. Learn the art of investment. Investment in stock market is somewhat essential these days due to good returns, but investment is not only about money. It can be of time, people, resources, thoughts, etc. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Do not shy away to back yourself during investment. Invest in your dreams, grind now and sign later. Remember, only success makes success. So be successful in small things, then invest that skill and resources to build next bigger success. Investment in reading good books, which is another most important thing I will recommend. Though all books are good, but I mean here books which are related to your taste, domain and needs. Read first 10 to 15 pages to decide whether it deserves your full time to complete that book or not, because we all have limited time in life. Reading and health workout should be a part of our daily schedule, just like we brush, bath and eat. But while you are building your success, not all the people in the park will like to see you grow and can inject hindrance, impediments in your roadways, which leads to our next point, to talk less. Number 5. Talk less. The biggest mistake comes from too much talking. The pattern says that such people complain more and throws excuses. They occupied themselves so much in replying that they miss to observe things around and reading between the lines, which lowers their IQ and EQ, that is, intelligent quotient and emotional quotient. When you listen out others, you know their intentions, vibes, and they help to connect. You learn so much while listening. People take your words more serious when you talk less. It helps you to stay humble as well. Also, do not post your problem in social media for likes and comments. It's immature. If you are sharing your problem with multiple persons, means you want sympathy and not the solution. However, you are supposed to share your problem with your mentor or eligible fellow who may give you solution. Be open-minded there. But in general, talk less and only speak when it is necessary. Because they say, seeker's loudest prayer is silence. Speaking less helps you to reduce your confrontation too, which is our next point. Cooperation over confrontation. In business or bigger projects of your life, whatever it may be, remember, cooperation will always give you more power than confrontation. Have quality interaction with others. Observe and study both successful people to know what to do and also unsuccessful people to know what not to do. Make a circle of people around you, only of those whom you really admire. Take criticism from only those whom you trust. Don't run away from positive criticism. Face it on your chin. According to the famous administrative thinker M.P. Follett, individuals must develop a cooperative attitude that fosters a search for integrative solutions to conflict and aspire only to exercise power with rather. Conflict at moment of appearing and focusing of difference may be a sign of health and a prophecy of progress. Drawing analogies from the universe, she says, all polishing is done by friction. We get music from the violin by friction, and we let the savage state when we discovered fire through friction. She calls it as constructive conflict. M.P. Follett says, there are 3 ways to resolve a conflict, that is, domination, compromise and integration. She says domination is victory of one side over other. This is the easiest way of resolving conflict. Though it is the easiest for the moment, it is not successful in the long run. Compromise is generally the way people settle most of their conflicts. In this, each side gives up their little and settles the conflict so that activity which has been interrupted by the conflicts may go on. Each side involved in conflict gives up a part of its desire to settle the issues. Though compromise is a widely accepted method of resolving conflict, rarely people want to compromise, as this involves giving up something. Integration. It is the third method of resolving conflict. Here, 2 desires are integrated and neither side needs to sacrifice its desires. Compromise does not create but only deals with the existing, whereas integration creates something new, leads to invention and to emergence of new values. Integration leads to use of better techniques. Integration saves time and resources. Integration goes to the root of the problem and puts an end to the conflict permanently. To kill your problem is great, but in order to do so, you may need some guidance. So that will be our 7th point of discussion. Find a mentor. If you want to make it big, find mentor. Not for weeks, but for years. Be optimistic, but plan it step by step. As they say, 1,000 miles of journey starts with a single step. Don't feel shy if you don't know something. Ask it, even if other person is junior to you. Appreciate those people and show gratitude to them, from whom you have learned something. Remember, nobody in this world knows everything. It's better to look like fool once than staying ignorant entire life. Steve Jobs summarizes it pretty well. Says, stay hungry, stay foolish. Even if not a mentor, still your girlfriend or your boyfriend or wife, husband becomes your indirect advisor. You often share your everything with them. Thus be careful while choosing your partner. They say, a good woman is an investment, but an immature girl is a bill. Same goes for ladies who ends up her life with immature boy. Remember, you are the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. If you don't vibe with surroundings, it's okay to spend time alone. If you can't stay happy in your own company, then how can you assume others will make you happy? Remember, all emotions are within us. If you feel happy, you will make others happy. Thus, before loving others, love yourself first. Talking about association, Swami Vivekananda once said, the rain drop from the sky, if it is caught in hands, it is pure enough for drinking. If it falls in gutter, its value drops so much that it can't be used even for washing the feet. The same drop, if it falls on hot surface, it perishes. If it falls on lotus leaf, it shines like a pearl, and finally, if it falls on oyster, it becomes a pearl. The drop is same, but its existence and worth depend on with whom it associates. Thus, always be associated with people who are good at heart. Such people will also make you feel easygoing and stressless. That leads to our 8th and last point. Control the controllables. Don't waste your time on thinking which aren't in your control. Can you stop your heartbeat for 5 seconds? You can't. You just can't, right? See the thing which beats inside your body to ensure you remain alive, and still you can't control it, right? Then think, how you can control the nature or the other person's thinking. So do your best and enjoy the result. Even in Hindu religious textbook, Bhagavad Gita says, Nishkam Karma, that is selfless or desireless action. It's an action performed without expectation of fruits or results, and the central tenet of Karma Yoga, path to liberation. And remember, it's good time or bad, it will pass. So neither get demotivated or overwhelmed by bad time, nor feel arrogance or carried away by the good time. Because nothing is permanent, life itself is a journey and not a destination. It will help you to stay in present, free from past worries and anxieties of future, as today is the only reality. We all have only one life, live it to fullest, live happily. I hope by now you must have learned some tidbits of success and feeling charged up. Thanks for watching this lecture and tuning Geopolitics Simplified. May see you soon in another lecture. Until then, take care and sayonara.